You guys, you don't even understand. After watching that and then this, I'm barely holding on here.
Oh, well, Michelle.
Yes.
I watched the first 3 episodes of season 2.
Mm-hmm. And?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's quite a ride, isn't it?
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I've already told everybody.
I know, and yet I want to say things,
I want to. It's like I can't say anything. But what I will say, and this does not spoil anything, do not worry, that when you get through the first episode, and then you get through the second episode, and you get through the third episode, each episode is ups the stakes. Every episode, right?
Yeah, exponentially.
But the thing is, as a lifelong fan, when I realized what they were going for, not just because, of course, Q, John Delancey returning, that's a big deal.
Right, yeah,
But,
amazing, right?
But when I
what?
realized that season 2 of Picard is clearly inspired by a few of the seminal episodes of the original series and the Next Generation, and I realized, I saw where this went, I just went, I want it all now.
Just wait. March 2nd is soon.
But
we have Easter eggs throughout it. You guys, there's so much. It's an amazing wild ride. It's also quite standalone if you think about, right, where we end here and where we pick up in the second season.
This season 1,
Yeah.
you wrapped it, it's done. Season 2 is it could be season 1. It could be season 6. It could be, it is its own thing.
It's its own entity.
And I gotta say, Michelle, Sonequa Martin Green was here just before you. And
I gave her a squeeze. I saw her. Do you all want to give her a squeeze?
So we were talking with her about how each season of Discovery has been so fundamentally different from the season that preceded it. But season 2 of Picard, all bets are off.
Off, exactly.
When you started getting an idea of where they were going to go in season 2, what was your take on that?
Well, we all got a call from Akiva Goldsman before we started shooting, and he kind of gave us the overview of what it was going to be. And I literally was on the phone, wait, what is happening?
Yep.
Wait, what? And then what? It's amazing, and Raffi's journey is wild and fun and emotional. Very emotional.
And Raffi, among other things, what season 2 does with Raffi, certainly with Picard, with Seven, with the whole kit and caboodle, is we are all getting to see these characters explore different dynamics that they did not go anywhere near in season 1.
Yeah.
How much fun was it to go, I get to do something so different with Raffi.
It really is. And I have to say, and we are all here because of this, because of Gene Roddenberry, that, and Sonequa and I were both talking about it. We are given, and by the way, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And
thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, really. And I also want to say that, to be February, Black History Month, to have these two, to close this out with Sonequa and then with myself. And all I could say is I know that Gene Roddenberry would be so happy about that, because that's part of it, is being this platform of inclusivity and diversity and giving the voice to people who may have felt like their voices haven't been found or heard. And we were both saying that the things that I am given to do in this character, this person, Raffi, it's profound. I don't have that. I haven't had that experience in my typical procedural shows that I've done and the almost 3 decades worth of things that I've done. And in this world, we all hold the power. Our voices are necessary. We contribute to the society. And you get to see that in season 2. Everybody has these experiences that are very contemporary, that are very impactful, that change us. There's about...
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah.
There's, the plight of connection, the plight of, there's always good and bad, right? But how we rise to the occasion, how we're affected. it's it's just a gift, this world that they have given us, and that for 50 years, 56 years, we're still like, yes, tell us some more stories. And right now I'm shooting season 3. Right, we're at the last. And I'm in the last couple of weeks of the last episode right now, and oh my goodness, you guys, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Talk about Easter eggs. You guys are gonna lose your mind. I lost my mind when I found out what was going on for season 3, but it's such an amazing experience. We are such a family. There's so much emotions going on right now while we're working, and it's just an amazing experience.
I mean, honestly, I was telling everybody yesterday and today, Michelle, that I lost my mind just watching the first 3 episodes. And I interviewed you on Friday through the junket.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like I had 4 minutes.
Right, I know,
and you were
too quick. And I'm long-winded. It probably answered one question.
I mean, it was you and then Jerry, and they're like, thank you, bye.
I know, it's Jerry.
But I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to talk to her on Sunday. Right. I'm good. But,
ask me anything.
But Michelle, one of the many things, but one of the most important things that I picked up from just these first couple episodes of season 2 is that you mentioned the word family. And that family dynamic really shines through with these characters in season 2. Because first season's bringing them together.
Right.
Now,
they're just meeting each other.
Now they're all like there's a rhythm, there's a chemistry, they're complimenting each other. How was that like for the actors to really like, okay, we get to come back and do something different, but now we've worked together already. So how did you go?
Well, I have to say, the first season was so incredible because for us as the actors, just like you guys, we were all getting to meet each other for the very first time. And I think you might have heard me refer to my group as my motley crew. And they really are, my little motley crew, my little family there. But we really all gelled and we came together. It was funny because it was the first time that we all were together for just sort of outside of set was at the San Diego Comic-Con. And we walked into that room, and the welcoming that we had from this family was phenomenal. And we all we became a family, like a real family, And this second season, we have a shorthand. Yep. We know how we can lean on each other. We can draw from each other. The story that we have to tell is really dependent on how we feel about each other in this way of a family. And it was, there's some stuff that you guys will see that, like, when reading it, I just went, and you probably know what I'm referring to, I was like, and trying to figure out, like, how I was going to do that. But because of the relationships that are already developed and so strong, there was no work in it. I just had to be there, be present, and say the words.
So in season 1, first of all, it was so great to see Jerry Ryan return in 7.
Right?
And a very, very different 7. And again, wait till you see season 2. It's going to blow your friggin' minds, I swear to God. But one of the things I loved about season 1 was we do get to see a new dynamic of 7 and her dynamic with Raffi. Mm-hmm. So how was it working with a veteran, and having like doing something for her to do something different and for you to do something different?
Yeah. No, it was great. I mean, Jerry Ryan. Remember how I said I got a squeeze from Sonequa? I got a squeeze from Jerry Ryan. She's amazing, and what's so really interesting that we discovered, and I think we might have said it during that roundtable, is that she and I are like two peas in a pod. We work so similar together. We just click immediately. It's so fun. If you guys have heard her laugh, it's amazing and infectious. And every single day I would come in, and she'd have that fun laugh, and it just makes you want to enjoy your day at work. What I love about what happened in season 1 at the end, and I think you guys could understand this and relate to it, because it wasn't so much that we're trying to make some kind of controversial thing or whatever. There's these two individuals who are both stubborn and independent and driven and passionate and vulnerable and strong-willed. And they both do, have this amazing, crazy thing that happens, and then we're brought together. How could those two people not connect? How could they not connect? They're kindred spirits, and I love the fact that it was an organic thing, that they let it be. It wasn't sort of, like skipping hands and, like, look, rainbows, unicorns, woo.
Be cute, right?
Would you buy that with Raffi and Simon? No, it was this coming together of seeing someone that you can relate to, that you can talk to, that you have a common interest with, that you admire, that you're impressed with, that makes you, shake and nervous when you're with there, and yet you can have a conversation and let it blossom. So I think I love that they did this.
Listen, the dynamic that you have with Jerry is absolutely, the chemistry is there. You're like, this is perfect. This is exactly, what every filmmaker dreams of anytime they are making a TV series or a film, is for two people like that to really like, oh, they're like, whew, it's like, right?
Thank goodness they're not divas.
Right. But also, and this is not a spoiler because, again, you know about this, about season 2, is that John Delancey returns as Q. And the chemistry between Patrick and John Delancey, it's like they did not skip a day at all.
Yeah, it's like it was just yesterday with them.
What is it like for you? Okay, so the season 2 for you for Star Trek, but those guys go back to Encounter at Farpoint, the first episode of Next Gen in the fall of '87, and here they are in 2022 in Picard season 2, and it's like they still got it. Yeah. How much fun was it for just everyone on the show, in front of the camera and behind the scenes, to be around all that?
I mean, it's amazing. I'm like you guys. My very first time walking on set with Patrick Stewart. I remember getting on set, and it was the first time I was with him was at my trailer at Vargas Rock. And I remember getting over to that set, and I heard some sound. And I was like, what is that sound? Oh, that's the sound of my knees shaking, because I'm standing in front of Sir Patrick Stewart. So all these moments, like Jerry, like John, I'm pinching myself. It's an amazing, experience as an actor to be with these iconic, amazingly talented people who have created something that we, love to go back to. So for the cast, for the crew, all of us are, you kind of stand, you're trying to be cool, you're trying to just be there with everybody and hang, but you're watching them and how they have a familiarity, they're old friends. It's almost like a masterclass, you get to sit back and watch it, but you're part of it.
So on the days where, for season 1, so you have, obviously, you have a moment, I think it's like the 8th episode or 7th episode, where you have Riker and Troy. That was just like, if Star Trek runs deep for you, like that was a transcendent thing to see. But to be directed by Jonathan.
The best.
Talk to me.
The best. No, honestly, he is. You will not hear a bad word said about him as an actor or director. He is one of the unique people, individuals that can bridge the gap when he's on set as a director, from director to actors, director to crew, director to producer. Everybody loves him. He makes us laugh. He's like I mean, in the best sense of the word, he's like a high school boy. He just giggles and, makes us laugh. I love his voice. It's so loud. You hear, action, cut, and it comes in, and he's got great ideas. And he's just, I was fortunate enough to work with him on a different show I did before The Glades, and I had a great experience with him. And then to be on this show, on Star Trek, where it's his home, and he's even more just generous and funny, and and he's a great director. He's a really good director. His episodes look phenomenal. He knows what he's looking for. He knows what you guys want. He's going to be respectful of that. Yeah, it is a great joy, because he directed us in season 3 as well. So it's been phenomenal.
This entire series, I hate using the word franchise. Star Trek is a series, and that you've had these shows that have been so fundamentally different from the other, Next Gen is different from Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise. But when you get to the newer shows like Picard, like Discovery and even Lower Decks, which I love.
Yeah, Lower Decks.
That each season of each of the newer shows is different from the one that preceded it. And it's like, again, season 2 compared to season 1, it's like big time different.
It's and I guess I can sort of say that that's going to be the same with season 3. Don't tell anybody I said this. Just right here.
Keep it to yourself. But I will say this, when season 2 does drop on Paramount Plus on March 3rd, watch it right away. Because if you don't, some schmuck is going to spoil it.
Yeah, and there's some stuff in there.
Just trust me. Just if it drops at midnight,
just watch.
Stay up. right?
We'll try to do it a little earlier, but yeah.
But I mean, look, Michelle, like Law and Order, ER, Gossip Girl, Daredevil, Hawaii Five-0, all these shows
It's crazy.
Are so different.
Yeah.
And you learn so much as an actor with each role, with each episode that you do of each series.
Yeah.
But how did season 1 of Picard, just walking to the Star Trek thing, challenge you as an actress like these other shows did not?
Yeah. Well, first of all, full disclosure, this is my favorite job I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
I love Raffi. I love her. I love her imperfections. I love her vulnerability. I love that she walks with her heart on the sleeve. I love that she holds on to things that she thought she did wrong. I just, and I've spoken about this before about the addiction. I really wanted to make sure that we told that story because, addiction is real. Addiction's so many different things, right? There's drugs, there's eating disorders, there's depressions and chronic illness that you use a painkiller for. Anybody who has addictions, we're still important and viable and necessary and shouldn't be discarded. And I really wanted to make sure that we told that story through Raffi. Walking onto the set of Star Trek, just the studio, or just putting on my outfit. I mean, I can't. First of all, we're shooting, the last couple of weeks, so I'm emotional. So I'm going to try to hold myself together here. But it's the best gift. It's the best gift that I've gotten because normally the gigs that you just said, Law and Order, Hawaii Five-0, Lethal Weapon, ER, all these things, I'm kind of like a doctor or a cop or a lawyer or the wife or whatever, and I do my due diligence and I'm here making you some scrambled eggs, honey, all that kind of stuff. But with Star Trek and with sci-fi, the characters and the message that you're tasked with doing is complex and it's necessary and it's important and you contribute. You literally contribute to those scenes when you walk into them. And you don't get that always. And my first season, I would literally open up that script and I'd just go, like this, you saw the scene with Raffi and Santiago Rios when they're fixing the ship. I get to work with Santiago Cabrera. Did you see how she was smiling? She's smiling because Michelle's like, I'm working with Santiago. There's just, I've been gifted, and with these amazing artists that I get to rise to do, my work. It challenges me. It makes me brave. It makes me want to do better, and like, I think it might have been Patrick who said this to me, or Jonathan. The thing that's amazing about this job, about working on a Star Trek franchise or series or whatever we want to refer to it, as opposed to any other show. Like you do a pilot, you fingers crossed, let's see what happens. When this show drops, when its first episode drops, 10 million people, I could say fans, but I'm going to say family, see it. Yeah. And they welcome you. There's nothing like that. And what comes with that, first of all, is like an overwhelming, my heart swells. And then I have a real deal with you guys to do the best that I can and to tell the story the best way I can and to bring her to life as best I can for you. And the fact that I do that for you and that it's also satisfying for me, there's nothing like that. Doesn't come around.
Star Trek is about a lot of things, and it is most definitely about family. When you see the evolution of the original series into the films, you know, the sacrifices that are made, especially in Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 4, it's family. And certainly that continued with show after show. So like 4 or 5 years ago, when some of the Discovery cast members made their first convention appearance, it was maybe like a month before it dropped on what was then CBS All Access. So the show hadn't even started yet, and it was in Vegas at that big convention they have there, and I got to moderate that conversation, and they were like at a loss for words. So I said was, welcome to the family. And everybody just went nuts because
true, 'cause it is
you're
a
in
family.
it. Like, welcome to the family.
I know, thank you. Thank you, happy to be here.
And I was also talking with Sonequa about this, that all the shows have done their own, in many ways, explored what was going on at the times. I mean, certainly TOS had, you know, Vietnam, civil rights, you know, the Cold War, and all the other, you know, every show has had its defining moments, and Discovery and Picard have really leaned into diversity and representation, and you know, making it just like that's just the way it is. Absolutely. So let's like talk about like just how these shows, Discovery and especially now Picard for you, they're now.
Absolutely. I mean, then if you know, season 2, you see that we have a lot of, you know, oftentimes with Star Trek, we tell the story of things that are happening, and we're maybe a little veiled. In season 2, I think we pull the veil back a bit and really put in everybody's face and thoughts about what's going on. That's all I'm gonna say, because I can't. Yeah. No, I think it was when I was I'm biracial. I'm a little black and white. My father was an actor, and he was actually an actor, and he also worked with Maya Angelou and Godfrey Cambridge in Matinee for Freedom to raise funds for Dr. King. So my parents are very much activists. And he knew how important it was for his 3 brown little girls to see themselves represented on television. And there's not a lot of shows back in the day that had that. Star Trek. Star Trek was the one show that as a family we would sit down and watch. Because it made, whether it was seeing this or seeing someone who's blue or, you know, hairy or whatever, the stories were about diversity. I mean, you know, like unapologetically saying this is what this world, this is what life forces do to each other. So getting this, you know, first of all, from my father, I can't even tell you how much I know he is, you know, just like, that's my girl. That's my girl carrying it on. I immediately, and I talked to Issa and Evan about this, Elnor and Soji, because they're, you know, we're all a little ethnic there. And I said, you know, we are giving a visual to a bunch of little munchkins so that they can see that in, you know, 2400, we still here. We're still here and we're still doing stuff. It's also the reason why I had my hair and makeup people. I was like, I want a huge, big, unruly mass of curls, because I don't want anybody ever to tell me that this is not cool, that this is unprofessional, or this is weird. This comes out of my head, you know? That's my crown.
On season 1. So it was also one of those conventions, I think it was in 2018 or 2019, when there was this big surprise announcement at a creation convention in Vegas, and nobody knew what it was going to be, and then Patrick Stewart walked out, and the crowd went friggin' wild. And he literally said, I'll never forget, he said, Jean-Luc is back.
Yeah.
And
I remember that moment, yeah.
it was such a, like if you're a fanboy like I am, like you totally freaking geeked
Did you
out.
lose your mind?
Yes, I went apeshit.
That is correct, to go apeshit at that moment. That's absolutely correct.
It's like, it's okay, but like when filming got underway, what was it like for him? Was he like let's go, or was even he nervous about doing something completely different? Because this is not the Patrick Stewart. This is not the Jean-Luc
that we knew
of
the
Next Gen.
past. Yeah. Well, he was instrumental in how he wanted to tell a story for season 1. He didn't want to sort of go back to what he had done because he's already done it. And he said, if I'm going to do this, I want it to be different. I want it to be a little darker. I want it to be a little edgy. He had a lot of input in there. And I have to say, to this day, we're in 3rd season, to this day, Patrick literally comes to set completely aware and committed to making sure the story is as truthful to the world that we have all decided to jump into. We could be shooting or getting ready to shoot, and he'll be like, no, this is not right. The fans will know. We must change this. And we do. Every day, if there's anything, he does that.
That's why Patrick Stewart is our guy, right?
That's
For
exactly
this,
right.
Come on.
That's exactly right.
But I mean, when you see, like, one of the things about all of these shows is that, like, you get to a certain point in the 23rd century where this is the Federation, and then the Federation advances, and then it needs an adjustment. And then it moves forward again, and then it needs another adjustment. And what we saw in season 1 of Picard was Federation needed a big adjustment. And it's crucial because that's the way the world is, and that's the way it's always going to be. And in season 2, when you see the Federation, the changes, it's really, you're going to go, clearly Akiva Goldsman, who is the showrunner, he loves the original series and he loves the Next Generation, but at the same time, he loves what Picard is in season 2. And you literally, if you'll pardon the expression, folks, you have the best of both worlds. So the last question is,
Yes.
as we gear up for March 3rd, like, what, on top of everything else, all the excitement that we've stirred with this conversation, Michelle, like, how was it for you after all of these shows and after season 1 to, like, what was the biggest acting challenge for you in season 2 of Picard?
Well, something that was very...
And I'm not saying a word.
In season 2, I'm giving a lot of opportunity to challenge myself emotionally, as an actor. It's so tricky because I got careful. It was season 2. Akiva really gave us all something to wrestle with, and we wrestle with some things, and that we have to figure out how do we forge forward with obstacles, with challenges, with new realizations, new realities. And I mean, oh gosh, there's so much stuff I want to tell you guys.
I know, it's tough, isn't it?
It's really tough. Because, first season, as we said, we all meet each other, and it's like the birth of a family, and all of those kind of growing pains. And then, like, the table's now set, and we all sit in our seats. We're now a family. And in this second season, a little time has passed, and people have gone, have their own spaces, or no, I don't even want to say that. That's not even right. Gosh darn it, I just don't want to take, because I really want you guys to really discover it, and just, it's quite the ride. We're going to take you on such a journey, tons of little Easter eggs for you guys to clock, but it's an emotional challenge for everyone, I think.
One last thing I did want to ask you about, and this ties into not only just what so much of Star Trek is about, but also what your family has been about. Last year, I think it was last year, you were awarded with the SAG-AFTRA President's Award. Tell us about this award and what this means to you.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that my father was an activist, and I think it's just in the blood. I cannot sit silent when I see injustice. I believe in volunteering. I believe in union work. And I believe in helping the many, not the few. Absolutely. And I was unbelievably honored by the President, Gabriel Carteris, with the SAG-AFTRA award for excellence in my volunteer work. And right now, I'm the Vice President of SAG-AFTRA Los Angeles. Did that happen? And the few things that we're doing, that I'm doing specifically, is that I'm the chair of the Sexual Harassment Prevention Committee, and we're trying to create foundations of roots that will take, solid roots so we can grow a forest so that there's no longer predators that are, attacking our vulnerable. I'm also working on creating equity in the hair and makeup trailer so that I never walk into a chair and have someone say, "What is that? That's weird and unprofessional." We're also working on creating language in the fitting room so that there's no body shaming, so that we have create more safeguard and language when we're dealing with our trans community, with our disabled community. Things that have been sort of antiquated and nobody has updated, like you were saying, how Star Trek sort of updates in the world. Yeah. We need to do that on all of our contracts. So it's sort of bizarre because I'm sure that, for myself, I'm always amazed that I'm actually on these committees and that I'm vice president. I don't even understand that. I feel like I'm just a kid, like just an actor. But when I get in those rooms, you guys, I'm just like, listen, let me tell you a couple of things. So it's an honor. It's an honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just got to say, again, wait till you see season 2. And thank you so much, Michelle Hurd, for being here at the Skirball, for closing out our Star Trek exhibition here at the Skirball Cultural Center. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to discuss season 2 with everybody.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.